I got a lot to say in regards to this particular individual, and I'm going to tell you why you should just laugh at her and pay her no mind because she's everything what's wrong with women and women like her. But give me a second. All right, you guys, I'm back. Now, many people saw the episode. I don't know what the entire numbers was for the show in its entirety, but you know, you saw snippets and um, different type of audio from her guest appearance on Club Shay Shay. And a lot of people gave their response and basically talked about the things that the so-called Dr. Cheyenne Brown likes to talk about. You know, I don't have to see a person too many times. All I need really is to listen to them maybe for 10 minutes at best, and I can dissect and pinpoint what their angle is. And she's no different from the other people that come on here that talk whatever red pill, blue pill content. I don't consider myself a red pill, blue pill guy. I just consider myself a conversationist as a dude, as a 51-year-old black man that have experienced, relationships with women that went either good or bad. Sometimes it was my fault, sometimes it was their fault. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that I didn't, ruin relationships. But, I was very young. I ruined my relationship with my son's mother. It was my fault. It was entirely my fault, and I had to take accountability for it. But at the end of the day, me and her raised our son together. So my son had love from both his parents. We wasn't together, but we raised him together. But this person, Cheyenne Bryan, I'm gonna call her Cheyenne Bryan. She is walking hypocrisy. She goes from panel to panel, show to show, talking about relationships and how black men and black women in particular should build together and form a partnership, a union, but at the same time, she isn't married, doesn't appear to have somebody in particular that she's supposed to be involved with. Once again, she doesn't have any children. So why would I take any type of relationship advice from somebody like her? I'm not going to fly in an airplane where the pilot has no experience, where he doesn't have a license. And that's basically what she is. She's like, I mean, for real. She's supposed to be like a relationship expert, but I'm trying to figure out she has no record of ever being married, doesn't have any children. And then it's a question of whether she really is into men. That's besides the point. That's besides the point. But just listening to her talk, it gets really irritating. And then the thing is, she goes on these panels. You've seen her go on Paul Pierce panel. And the thing is, she tries to read these dudes, and then she tries to also disrespect them. She tried to disrespect Paul Pierce. She tried to disrespect Cam Newton. She tried to disrespect Shannon Sharp. See, she never would have did that to me because it would have went left real quick. Because first of all, the same way she was trying to be condescending and take little pot shots and take little digs, I would have returned fire like what Paul Pierce did. Paul Pierce had her looking completely stupid, and you could just tell when she was on Paul Pierce, the Truth podcast, that she was lying through her fucking teeth. She literally created a so-called man before our eyes. You talking about that the black man and the black woman in particular should form a union, but yet you talking about you're going to have children, but you didn't say you're going to have children with a man that you're married to, or at least living with. And that is the problem, and particularly in our community with black women. Too much finger pointing in the other direction. Like Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, when he basically pointed out, the dude, that was like, the overboss of, his mob activities where, Henry Hill, RIP, I guess, where he basically snitched dude out and had to go into witness protection. And you just see that with black women. What you're seeing right now, and a lot of men, and I'm glad a lot of men, and particularly black men, are starting to push back with black women trying to bully and shame black men into just accepting anything that is done to them. They want us to be a complete mute. They want us to be completely silent. They completely want to take away our tongues, our ability to call them out. And then when we call them out on their obvious bullshit, then they want to make us feel guilty about it and call us sassy and all this kind of stuff. And it get to the point like, when are y'all going to look in the mirror and see that maybe you're the problem? And I'm gonna prove to you that the reason why the black family structure has been destroyed, in particularly, is due to the fault of the black woman. And I got proof. And I'm gonna provide some proof. Because see, that's the problem. The thing is with black women, and in particularly women like Cheyenne Bryant, they're only fixated on trying to make it look like we are always supposed to be the guy that is supposed to be able to figure it out. We are not we are not supposed to be able to figure it out 100% of the time. We don't know what's going through your mind. And then at the end of the day, trying to read a black woman's mind is like basically, you know, making a salad with a lot of different, you know, vegetables and everything, because a lot of times their mind is just mixed up. And a lot of times, as I said before, a lot of these black women just live in an island of delusion. A lot of times you can flat out pinpoint and show them the truth. You can provide concrete evidence that they're wrong, it's their fault, and that they need to accept accountability. And somehow, some way, they will still try to find a way to make it your fault. And when you're dealing with people like that, you basically fighting a losing battle. For real. It's like trying to shoot a basketball. It's like trying to shoot a basketball and the net is basically in the end of the net is sealed at the bottom, where basically the basketball is not going to go through. It's going to get caught in the net. And that's how it is having conversations with some of these women. And then when you point this out, as usual, they get mad. A lot of these women can't even answer a simple question. Anytime you ask them a simple question, and as what do you bring to the table, they get triggered. And if they can't answer the question, that just goes to show you that you should walk away. So I'm supposed to take a chance and invest in my time and possibly my financials in you in this relationship and trying to grow with you and possibly build with you, but you're not telling me what am I going to get? See, that's the problem. A lot of these men are investing in these women, are consider investing in these women, and they don't get a return. If you invest in anything, you should respect you should expect and respect somebody giving you a return on your investment. And a lot of times you're just diving into a money pit. You're just diving into a bottomless pit. A lot of women are combative for no reason, and especially our women. Whether people want to believe it or not, it's our women. But the problem is, a lot of times they're just combative with us. They have this notion where they have to be standoffish with us. And at the end of the day, it further drives us away and make us just say, you know what, I'm good. I'd rather have my peace and sanity than deal with this madness. And then they're mad about that. The thing is, with a lot of women like Cheyenne Brown, they want to have a cake, they want to have the bakery, they want to have the ingredients, they want to have the specially designed box, the packaging. They just want everything to just be one-sided their way. And I don't do is my way or the highway. Well, you know what? If you on it is my way or the highway, well, where's the nearest freeway? I mean, look at this. Look at how she's looking. Look at how Cheyenne Brown is looking. She's winging a lot of this stuff. She doesn't even look convinced at what she's saying. And she's leading women down a slippery slope to lonelyhood. When I heard her talking about you should be able to go through your man's phone and all that kind of stuff. Well, first of all, why the fuck you want to go through my phone? My thing is with this, the person that I'm with, the person that I'm with, she told me straight up, and we agreed. She said, I don't do none of that going through phones. I don't do none of that stuff. If I feel like I can't trust you, I'm just not going to be with you. I'm not going to turn my hair gray, worried about what you doing. And I agree with her, and I said the same. So we have a mutual respect and understanding. And she's a good chick. She respects me, I respect her. So I can speak from experience. I'm more qualified to talk about the stuff Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, the so-called Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, talks about than her. I really have to ask y'all a question. Y'all really gonna take advice from a woman who's never been married, who say she's single? I mean, you should have seen her on Paul Pierce show, just basically just tell lie after lie. One minute she says she's single, then she says she has a roster, then she says she has a uh specific person that she's talking to. The lady was just all over the place. And I'm like, okay, lady not telling the truth. So, you know, you must be, she wants submission. Well, first of all, if you want submission, you're not gonna get it. Not from me. And a real man shouldn't have to submit to no woman. A real, and that I'm gonna use that terminology, a real man. As far as women trying to define what a definition of a real man is, you don't get that right. Because when we start talking about what a real woman is, once again, they get mad. They get mad about everything. The thing is, they want to ask questions. They want to be able to critique, but they don't want to be critiqued. They don't want you to ask them questions. We're just supposed to take it. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. We don't have to take it. Black men got to understand that we control the narrative. We will always control the narrative because we were on this planet first. Women were sent here to assist us, not undermine us. Just goes to show you this is proof that Eve was a black woman. Because I really could dive deep into this. But I'm going to give y'all the basics and I'm going to be just transparent. Look at the look on her face. Does this look like a woman that is convincing? Does she even look convinced of what she's saying is the truth? Or is she just a person that's just going on all these talk shows, just spewing a bunch of baloney? And she has a target audience. Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make. That's the point that I'm trying to make, CJ Rich. She's a pump and dump. This is a lady that allegedly didn't have multiple abortions that didn't allegedly, I gotta say allegedly because I don't want to get no letters that she's visited planned what is it called? Planned Parenthood a few times herself. Like I said, the look on her face says it all. That she's not even convinced of what she's saying. One thing about me, I say this with conviction. Women are starting to think of men as pets, and particularly black men. We are the only ones, like I say in our community, we're not allowed to have a voice. We are supposed to put up with just anything. And like I said, the black family structure has been destroyed. In particularly, listen, black men have played their part. I'm not going to sit up there and say that black men didn't play a part in this, but at the same time, to excuse black women from their role in destroying the black family structure, nah, fuck that. I gotta ask y'all this. Most of y'all probably come from the streets, or y'all come from the hood, y'all come from the urban city. It doesn't matter whether you in Mississippi or Memphis or Oakland or LA, whatever, Chicago. How many times, I know y'all, and this is just real talk, this is always a red flag. If you go to a function, and this is real talk, if you go to a function, you meet somebody, you go to a family function, and the girl asks you to come through, and you show up, you see the mama, you see the auntie, you see the sister, you see the cousin. None of them don't have no male guest there. Run. Run. That's a huge red flag. Run. How many times have y'all seen, I know y'all didn't seen this because I didn't went out with women, I didn't came to little function barbecues and all that kind of stuff. How many times have you seen that alcoholic auntie who talk all this stuff about how to keep a man, but she can't even keep, you know what I'm saying? She can't even keep up with herself, really don't have no money. You know how you used to go to these functions, you would see the lady who got her nails done and one of the nails broke, and she put tape around the nail because she too broke to go, what, I don't know what they call it, get a feeling or whatever the case may be. But she trying to give you, she trying to give the lady advice about how to keep a man, and she ain't had a man since Brick House by the Commodores was a new release, but she been on welfare, general assistance, Section 8 her whole life. But she the one trying to give advice about how to keep a man. I know y'all done seen this. No, she isn't. So CJ, I'm pretty sure you didn't seen that, because I done been to those type of parties, those type of environments. Come on, I mean, I'm from Oakland. I'm like, why you listening to the auntie that ain't had a man since the Jackson 5, put out Dancing Machine? But she trying to give you advice about how to keep a man. She always broke. Been on welfare her whole life, pretty much. 3 kids by 3 different men. But she trying to get, no, she isn't married at all. But she's sitting up there telling Shannon Sharp that he's almost 60 years old, living in his inner childhood. Okay, so what's your excuse for being 43 and not married? Where's your man at? Who are you dating? I told you, you can't listen to a so-called pilot that don't have a pilot's license and didn't go to flight school. That's the type of person she is. This is why I particularly froze this picture of hers, because I wanted you to see, did this woman look like she's convinced that she knows what she's talking about? I felt it was very pivotal that I, talk about this. And, the thing is with Shannon Sharp, I don't even think Shannon Sharp was paying her no mind. I could tell that Shannon Sharp was just letting her talk. It was going in one ear out the other, as it should. You can give me advice when you have children, such as I do, when you've been married, such as I have. You know what I'm saying? when you do all that, then you can talk to me. She sits up here and tries to read Cam Newton about, okay, well, why are you having all these children with all these different men and basically splitting your time in all these different households? Well, the same thing could be said. Why are you a woman that have 4 kids by 4 different men? Why is it that you will carry before you get married? What's up, Mark? So riddle me that, Batman. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. How is it that how is it that you have all these children by all these different men? Why is it that you didn't want to wait till the right man came along to build a family and build a family structure? Why is it that you don't value your body? Why is it that you, and that's the thing. So why do you have a broken home? And then the thing is, why are none of these fathers around? What did you do to where the fathers are not around? But then at the same time, you expecting a man that may have it going on, that's single, make X amount of money, have all this going on, but you expect him to basically align himself with you and be basically and basically take care of children that don't belong to him. Why is it that you had all these children? Why is it that you had all these failed relationships? See, they never, like I said, they never hold the woman accountable. So that's what I'm saying. Hey, what's up? Oh man, yeah. Well, Oakland in the building. So CJ, you definitely know what I'm talking about. So that's the question I'm asking. How did you put yourself in a position to where you had all these kids by all these different men, but then at the same time, you expecting me, who basically was responsible, to just sit up there and basically take on a responsibility and basically, you know, become a financial burden? Because that's what you're gonna be. That's a financial burden. Why would you take care of kids that don't belong to you? And that's always a red flag. How in the hell did you put yourself in a position to where you got 4 kids by 4 different men? Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, he tricked me. How the fuck do you get tricked 4 times? So how do you get tricked 4 times? Well, CJ, I'm pretty sure you remember that song by Too Short from his classic 1992 album, Shorty the Pimp. Man, once I heard that song, Stepdaddy, because like I said, I didn't been there. I didn't been there. You gain nothing out of it. Anybody that don't know what I'm talking about, listen to this song by Too Short. It was on his 1992 album, Shorty the Pimp. It's called Stepdaddy. And at least back then, when you played temporary stepdaddy, at least, at least then the woman appreciated you somewhat. At least she let you knock her down. Now these women now just want you to just come in there, hand them your ATM card, and then send you packing. First of all, you're not in the position to lay down the law about anything. I recommend everybody listen to that song by Too Short. When I'm around, we eating steak. I let the motherfuckers act bad. Bomb toys when the crying is sad. So, I mean, so once you hear that song, you gonna be like, I'm good. That song was ahead of his time though. Too Short was warning you about that. So I mean, yeah, I'm really from Oakland though. So yeah, but that's the point that I was trying to make. Do not take advice from people like Cheyenne Lion, because that's pretty much what she be doing. A woman like her can't tell me shit with her Popeye arms. Um, you know, so just sitting up here listening, and I mean, it get annoying listening to somebody like her, for real. What experience have you had to tell a man like Shannon Sharp that got grown kids, that got grandkids, and try to say that he's acting immature? Okay, so what's your excuse? Where's your children at? Where's your fiance? Where's your husband at? So, in other words, you can't tell me shit. Okay, well, how are you independent if you always sitting up here begging? Listen, all these women that be talking this, they don't need a man shit is cap. Because most of the physical jobs, 90% at the bare minimum by men. Most of the truck drivers that bring us our groceries, our food, they're men. 95% of them are men. Most of the pilots, when we jump on airplanes and fly across the country or across the world, like 80% of them are men. So I got more statistics. So that's just complete cap. They independent until they independent until they need their cell phone bill paid. They independent till they need new tires. They independent until they need food. They independent when they see you at the store and they can't reach, the top shelf to get whatever item they need. So that's just complete cap. As you guys can see, winter is here. Winter is literally here. And what are these women doing online? Begging, pleading. Oh, why won't anybody talk to me? Well, you said you were independent. You said you didn't need a man. You can't listen. Don't fuck with me. See, that's the difference between me and these other dudes. I wouldn't be nice if I went on one of those panels. I'm just keeping it a buck. It wouldn't be pretty because I can promise you, Cheyenne Bryan wouldn't talk to me like how she tried to sneak this or flat out diss Paul Pierce on his own platform. She would have got super checked. I would have cut her off when she was like first like trying to like talking about that Paul Pierce is headed towards Paul stage. Paul Pierce is like 47. Okay. The funny thing is there's a lot of black grandmothers that I know that's not even 40 yet because you had your first kid at 17, 18. So, okay, what does that make you? And the thing is, Paul Pierce could have like just shut her down. Paul Pierce could have said, well, here's the thing about me. I'm 46, 47 years old, and I made over $100 million, and I don't have to ever work again. I made over $100 million as a basketball player. I won a championship. I'm a Finals MVP. I'm from Oakland, California, and I was a first ballot Hall of Famer. You 42. You still trying to find yourself. Oh, I would have shut her down. I would have shut her down. I would have said, okay, well, I may be at Paul status, but here's the thing. Like I said, I'm extremely wealthy. Like I said, I don't have to ever work again. So Ebony K. Williams is all over the place. She another one that I don't pay no mind to. She another one that got multiple failed relationships. Not only has she failed with black men, she failed with white men. So obviously it's her. If you can't keep any type of man, obviously it's you. Which I got a video. Don't worry, I'm gonna talk about that black woman that went overseas and became an international baby mama, which which is unmitigated proof that it's them. It's not us. Yeah, Ebony K. Williams, she another one. Everybody knows that the black man is pivotal to the family structure. Every woman that I ever dealt with, for the most part, if they father was involved, they was good people. Like I said, sometimes it was me. I always ask a woman, was your father around? And when I hear women say, yeah, yeah, when I hear them talk about their dad and all that kind of stuff, then okay, cool. Like the girl that I'm with, her father was kind of like in and out, but she cool with her father and stuff. She got closer with her father after her mother passed away. So, oh, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate it. Well, the thing is, with me, somebody got to have these conversations. I I gotta keep it 100. What has talking nice to these women got us? What have the Ralph Tresvant mentality got us? When you say you need a man with sensitivity, where that gotten us? These women have put on combat boots and have tried to walk all over us. And that's the problem. My thing is the gloves is off. So now we got to start pushing back. Hopefully, just mentally. Hopefully, it doesn't have to be physically. But then again, we may have to revisit that conversation on a later date too, because I'm seeing way too much violence towards black men. I'm seeing way too many. I'm seeing way too many black men being physically attacked by women. So we're gonna have to revisit that on the regular. We're gonna have to revisit that and on the regular talk about that. Because one thing about me, like I said, I watch what's going around. I watch, I peep, and then I dissect it. I see what's going around. I look at my surroundings everywhere I go. I'm seeing what's on the internet. I'm seeing how people react. You got to ask yourself something. And this is real talk. No matter how I know people get mad sometimes, say, "Oh, you're generalizing all black women." No, I'm not generalizing all black women, but I go by what I see. I did a social experiment, and this is just real talk. This is just real talk. I was in a Walmart supercenter, and I talked about this. This is about maybe 6 months ago, and I was just walking around. And this is why it's a problem in our community, and in particular a problem with our women. The thing is, you can't even critique them, in a respectful way without them getting triggered. I was walking all through a Walmart supercenter. It was the one in Antioch. And I saw so many women, and particularly the black women, that was walking by themselves. They wasn't by themselves. They had kids with them. And I was looking at their fingers. I didn't see no wedding rings. But I saw other couples. I saw Asian couples. I saw non-black couples. They were together. And I was asking myself, why are there so many black women here solo? This is problematic. It's problematic. And then when you try to point out these things and you ask black women these questions, why are so many of y'all by y'all? Oh, it's the man. It's the man. It's their fault. They can't handle a strong. Okay. Stop it right there. First of all, Are you a circus animal? Are you a wild animal? What do you mean can't handle you? So when I hear them talk like that, that's already a red flag showing that they're on the defensive. It's already a red flag. That's already a red flag. That's already showing me that okay, something's wrong. Now I can make a video making these little videos where I'm taking shots, but I'm really trying to have a productive conversation. And I was watching, I said, damn, why are all these black women like by themselves? And I'm gonna say this, and I want to make this very clear. We don't care about your degrees. We don't even be caring about how much money you have. We don't care about that shit. We really don't. That stuff don't impress us. You got all these degrees, you got this, you got that, so you say, but you still can't keep a man. You still don't have a man. And then don't give me that stuff about it's because you have high expectations. Okay, if that's the case, if you have these high expectations, and once again, why why are you saying that you gotta buy deadbeat then? So make that make sense. And then you hear them all the time. You hear them all the time. They say that good men are boring. I mean, what is your definition of define boring? So this is the toxic mentality that a lot of them have. It's them. No matter how much they, no matter how much they don't want to believe it. But I think to a certain degree, they believe it. They just don't want to admit it. It's a difference between knowing something, but then not wanting to admit it. But for some particular reason, women have this thing about admitting when they're wrong. I mean, I truly miss my mother. You know, I lost my mother in June. My mother passed away, I think, June the 11th. But boy, just thinking back, my mother had it really bad about just certain stuff she would just do. And I'm not trying to attack my mother because she's not here, but it's just some stuff that she just would do that would just bother me. She just didn't want to admit where she was wrong. And I don't know, it just like fuck with me for a while. So, you have to understand sometimes your actions and how you handle situation have a reflection on the upbringing or the end results about how your children are going to be. So, you know, just saying. Oh wow. Well, CJ, I don't want to, overstep my boundaries. That's just something, brother. I wish you the best. That's something you gotta evaluate. My thing is it worth it? Remember this, bro. A woman is a ex-wife for a reason. You're an ex for a reason. You're an ex-wife, you're an ex-girlfriend for a reason. And then I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna tell all y'all this before I end this video. You constantly hear them saying, this is also something that's complete cap. You always hearing, oh, they want a provider, they want a dude that's gonna do this, that's gonna do that, and that's gonna make sure you in the best possible situation. Okay, well, why isn't Aisha satisfied? Why isn't she satisfied? Why is she still talking about how she wish this would happen? Why are you still seeking attention from men? Look what happened with Xavier Worthy with the Kansas City Chiefs. That woman didn't have no problem. She didn't have no scruples about trying to destroy that man's promising NFL career. He caught her cheating, and she got mad at him and tried to fight him and tried to have him arrested. So that's a lie too. A lot of times these women, you can provide for them and they will take your resources and they will align themselves with the worst type of nigga that you could think of. Pookies exist for a reason. You have to understand stuff. Things exist for a reason. Pookie and Ray Ray exist for a reason. Because they're sought after. Everything has rhyme or reason behind it. Well, it seems to me, CJ, that your mind is already made up. You know, when I split with my ex, and boy, that was a disastrous. Boy, that was disastrous. Yeah, every once in a while, she'd be calling me, asking me, can she take me to lunch? Take me to lunch for what? I can buy my own fucking lunch. I don't need you to buy me no damn lunch, lady. You think I'm finna step right back into that? Nah, I'm good. Now, I believe in second chances, but then I believe in a quick strike too. There are some people that can just, equivalate 3 strikes just, immediately. Or they can turn one incident to an instant 3 strikes. That's just real talk. But anyway, appreciate you guys being here. I gotta get up. CJ, I'm probably going to that. If you a member, I'm probably going to that 24-hour fitness on High Street, probably like 5 in the morning. So holla at your boy.